I can't see shit from up there, so.
I know you can't. That's why I'm watching Marcus Morris. He missed. Ooh, Marcus Morris rebound. Made.
I seen the shot.
Alright. 3, 2. What's going on, YouTube? It's nigga, you good?
Yeah.
I heard the.
Oh no, I had a burp.
Okay, like you good, nigga.
I had the burp and I wasn't trying to burp out loud, so it was just. I'm not cutting this out though, by the way. So you might as well just.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Thread the No Needle today. Corey out, you know, he got his own little Kyrie ankle sprain, aka work. And I mean, I know you see the thumbnail. We're gonna be talking about the second round playoffs today. But before we get into that, I want you to go ahead and smash that like button if you like what happened in the second round this past week or two? Yeah. Because I mean, I enjoyed it, and likes definitely help us with the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button too. We're trying to get up to, let's say,
100 by the end of the year.
100 by the end of the year. So
That's possible.
do us a favor, man. Help us get y'all more content, motivates us to keep working harder. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. We already talked about Kyrie Irving, so we can talk about the biggest series of the second round, the one that kind of had everybody sitting in front of their TV screens, phones out at work. Brooklyn versus Milwaukee. I can't say I ain't predict this. I seen it coming.
Jaren, hey, ain't gonna lie, me and Jaren had a bet on this game, and I smartly, now I'm thinking about it, I smartly called the bet off. I think we said something about it in our last video. But yeah, so you know, I can't say Jaren didn't call that the Bucks was gonna win. He actually kind of called this like at the deadline, low key, because I think that's when we did our I don't know, it was like a little bit after the deadline, but I remember when we did our like first playoff type video, he said it, so you know, gotta clap it up for my boy.
Yep.
But I have a question though about that series, because honestly, I mean, KD, I didn't even know they said that KD wears a size up when he plays basketball, which is crazy. How like that shit really came back to bite him.
Wears 17, I think, in normals, and then he said like 18 because he want to feel lighter.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, it's a mental thing. I mean, like I know that's something like Michael Jordan where he like pretended like people talk shit to him to motivate him, but I mean, hey, anything that can make you feel at your peak on the court, I mean, do it. So it did come back to bite you in the ass, though.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. KD's shoes are a little tight, actually, so I mean, it would make sense for him to go up a size on his own shoe. I mean, he knows. So, but it's crazy because he was literally like inches from this being a completely different video. Like we having completely different conversations about the playoffs. I mean, if he behind the line, I mean the Nets are the clear-cut favorite, because I mean out of the other remaining teams, what team do y'all really think was gonna beat the Nets? Like, to be honest, y'all thought the Suns. I'm a temporary Suns fan. We're getting that. Suns weren't gonna beat them. Clips without Kawhi wasn't gonna beat them. The Hawks, they were gonna get swept. So, you know, it's crazy because now it's you got 4 teams who you really don't know who can win, and we're gonna get a new champion. Like the latest champion, I believe, out of the 4 teams was in 1971 with the Bucks with Kareem. So,
I mean, the people always talk about how they want parity in the league, and they don't like how it was like a favorite that usually tends to win the championship, and you getting it this year. So we're gonna see in the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals like how the viewership and stuff goes, because people, you finally get what you want. There's no LeBron, there's no Kevin Durant, there's no Super Team Warriors, there's none of that this year. So you kind of get what you want. I'm gonna be tuned in because, like I said, I want to see if my prediction's gonna be correct. But I mean, also we just basketball heads, so I mean, it is kind of like our job. So it's like we gotta do it. But the Brooklyn Nets Bucks series, it was entertaining. That pretty much. I mean, it sucks to see Kyrie go down. I mean, he shouldn't have stepped on Lucky. Ain't that right, Glenn? So you shouldn't have stepped on Lucky, my dog. But KD, he was very impressive in my eyes. He did solidify himself as a top 3 player in the league. It's kind of hard for me to say best player in the league just because of the standard I used to hold LeBron to. and I gotta hold you to that same type of standard. And it's like,
So you still have LeBron number one? Or no, have you ever had LeBron number one?
I mean, I don't respect him as the best player in the league. It's just I was like, fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, regardless,
You think the best player in the league?
I honestly got to give it to the man that topped you. I got to give it to Giannis right now. And it's not like saying Giannis is the most like he's dominant. You know what I'm saying? You see what he do? You got to build a wall to stop him, and it's like he got the dub. I mean, no matter what, he got the dub. I know his team was still there, but I mean, the same way Joe Harris and James Harden were kind of selling, he had a Drew Holiday on the court selling.
That's fact.
So it's like
That's fact.
And by the way, let me go and talk about that. Joe Harris, Shanghai. you looking like Shanghai.
Tonight, you should have been after the game. They should just went ahead and bought the plane ticket. 'Cause, dude, how do you get paid to literally shoot? That's all you do is shoot. And you had so many wide open shots, like especially down the stretch. You had like 2 or 3 of them that I saw, especially that last one. You can't. That was your Kyle Korver. That was your Mike Miller moment, where you were supposed to be the big time Ray Allen, where you just the shooter step up and make a big time shot. That would have been your moment, but you
I was thinking about the Steve Kerr stuff with the he was always ready and Mike had, the joke you made to him, so I gotta bail Mike out again, and it's like that's kind of what I was thinking about when you just seen him miss out on shots, and it's like, well, Kerr was ready for the type of John Paxson was ready for those type of moments, and those are championship shots. But I mean, same with Harden. I mean, we know he's battling the hamstring, but I mean, you can't go 2 for 12 from deep. Even if you are battling the hamstring, he
was shooting a lot.
You are a 3-point shooter. I mean, I know you're not. You're a scorer. I mean, when people say, but we all know that you can hit the 3-pointer at a high clip, and 2 for 12, I mean, it's just not gonna cut it, even if you do got a bad hamstring. Yeah. So if you did, you shouldn't have been taking that many. So it's like, I gotta hold you accountable on that. I mean, KD, you did what you could, but now you see how it feels to really be alone. You see why dropping 50 pieces to get dubs is the toughest thing to do in the league. I mean, Bron had to do it multiple series. I mean, Tatum had to do it. So it's like it's some hard shit to watch. I ain't gonna lie.
I had to slide Tatum up in now.
Hey, would I be his father if I did? But you got anything else on the series? Because I mean, like I said, shout out to Giannis, Chris Middleton with the big shots.
Man, Mike Budenholzer should have been fired. That's crazy. Like, that is hilarious how his job really just got saved by KD shooting. But I think we pretty much covered everything on this series.
So I mean, I guess we could talk about the team they're gonna be facing, which was the Atlanta Hawks, the ATL, and Trae Young. He sat up there and he put his name on the map. I mean, you talk about the top players under 25. I mean, he's on the list. He's high on the list. Definitely top 10 on the list. Maybe top 7, top 6. But I mean, he didn't really put himself in that top 5 discussion where it's like you gotta knock somebody who really you would put in there like a job out of there. And it's like I said, it's very impressive to watch from Trae, man. I can do it for the clap it up. Corey called it from day one. I gotta give it to him. I was one of those guys. Not saying Trae was gonna be straight ass, but I didn't think he'd get to where he was today. I kind of thought he would be a volume scorer that could be like a 6-man type.
What Carson Edwards is what I thought Trae Young was gonna be. So just let that stick in your mind. What Carson Edwards is right now, I thought Trae Young was gonna. I mean, obviously more minutes. I mean, he was gonna start from day one regardless. I mean, he was like the number 5 pick, and they swapped with Luka. He was gonna start regardless, but I just thought in terms of just the play style that Carson Edwards has, like where he's a real, like what James saying, a streaky shooter. I thought he was gonna be like that. So I mean, I'm really impressed by what I've seen from Trae Young. Nate McMillan also, I'm gonna shout you out because you came and took over like middle of the season and really like turned around the ship with the Hawks, because I mean they were good, but the record was they were mediocre at the same time, and then
they'll play under the talent that they had on the floor. Yeah,
and then the whole Lloyd Pierce and Trae Young thing. I didn't really know that much about this situation until like literally like they were talking about it during the games. So whatever that is, I mean you came and fixed that immediately, and now you got the Hawks in the conference finals for like the first time since 2011, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about the 76ers because immediately after the game, man, they was on Ben Simmons shit.
I was on Ben Simmons.
Everybody, and deservedly so. But after some time of thinking,
tweeting bangers, by the way, didn't get no love.
That's how it be. But after some time of thinking, for one, Ben Simmons was not the only reason why the 76ers lost. Joel Embiid had 16 turnovers in the last 2 games of the series. That's unacceptable, especially from number one option. And you're a center. How the hell do you get 8 turnovers both games? That's number one. Tobias Harris, I don't know where the hell you were. He had a game where he scored less points than Ben Simmons. Like that's that game Ben Simmons had like 8 points. Tobias had like 4. Like, come on, you supposed to be the second scoring option on that team. Yep. Seth Curry was the second best player in this series, not in the series, but on the 76ers in this series. So Tobias Harris, he disappeared. And then Doc Rivers. I didn't like how he kind of threw Ben under the bus after the game because I didn't really see him take credit for the 76ers failures because Doc, if you watch the games, Doc doesn't really make adjustments, and it's like don't make sense because you have this super talented team top to bottom, and as soon as a team figure out a way to stop y'all the first time, that's it. I mean, you don't make in-game adjustments, and this is like I would say your third team that you've had that's underachieved. So Doc Rivers, you gotta take some blame for this. And I don't like that my head coach, well, not my head coach, but I'm speaking as a 76ers fan. I don't like that my head coach is calling out one of my franchise players because at the end of the day, Ben Simmons is still one of your franchise players, regardless of how bad he was looking. Y'all not using him right. So I'm gonna let you. I don't know if you got something to say about Simmons. I got something to say again, but I'm gonna let you get it.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with the Doc Rivers point. I mean, I understand that you kind of got to stand with your guy, but you've been standing with him all series. Series over. We're going into the off season. I mean, I can't tell you something he's never done. He's never got his team to the finals, so I can't say he can be a point guard of a championship team either. I mean, we know the potential he has, but it is shown multiple times. Even when he was coaching the Clippers, not like he hasn't been keeping up with the NBA games. And I mean, Ben Simmons shows you that he's a liability on the court. So you truly can't say, hey, he's going to be a point guard on the NBA team because we never seen a team with a point guard who literally cannot shoot. Like, and not even cannot shoot, won't shoot. That's the thing. Like, he won't shoot. So I mean, I can't go around saying that he will be a guy, but he can if he's a number 3, but he can't as a number 2, and he done showed that last 3 years in his career.
And that's why, like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, obviously, I don't think Ben Simmons is a championship point guard, but he didn't have to. You know, he could have said it in a better way. Is what I'm saying. Like, I understand that it was immediately after the game. He was probably frustrated, which I mean he should have been, but he could have easily just said, "I still believe in Ben's potential." That's all. If you'd have said that, that's perfectly fine. But you basically not saying you really said it, but you kind of it came off this way. It came off like you were kind of just giving up on him. Like you were saying, like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work, and I think it could work. All right, were you done? Because I got like.
Like I said, man, I don't talking about the 76ers as a whole, man. I kind of agree with Seth Curry being the second best player. I mean, I thought Tobias did a serviceable job. I mean, he obviously had that blundering game. What was it, 5?
Yeah.
And I mean, you do have to do better, especially as the second scoring option on the team. But I mean, you got to give credit to the Hawks. I mean, Nate McMillan came in with an amazing game plan. Not something that like nobody couldn't think of, which is had Ben. And you know, try to constantly throw batters at Embiid with John Collins, Clint, and I mean Red Velvet. He stepped up in Game 7. Kevin Hart game out that game was 24 apiece, career high in the playoffs. And I mean, you really just gotta clap it up. Trae Young. I mean, he struggled all Game 7, but he knocked down big shots late. I mean, Capella. I mean, somehow Trae Young got these clutch alley-oops. I mean, he did it in Game 1 with John Collins. Me and Rob, we both jumped back when that happened. I mean, the big lob to Capella late
at the game.
I mean, Trae is one of the best playmakers in the league, and I honestly would say it's more of a 70-30 Hawks But I mean, it's a big 30 for Philly because they were the favorites. But I mean, I really felt like the Hawks went out there and got it.
Yeah. All right, so do you think the 76ers should trade Ben Simmons?
Yep.
What would your ideal trade be?
I mean, he would be perfect as the number 3 of the team when they're surrounded with shooters. I mean, I wish we could snag a point guard like that.
They won't trade him.
But I mean, if he can't go to a squad like that, I mean, you would hope he can go somewhere like the Warriors or something. Just anybody that can just use a guard that doesn't have to do anything else. Like, I wish there wasn't Gobert on the Jazz because the Jazz would be perfect. You know what I'm saying? But like, just somebody who could just be because they missing an athletic defender on their team. But I mean, we all know Gobert and Simmons will never work. But if it was up to me, man, you just got to pick a team that really got a lot of weapons around him, and he can really be the one paint presence. I mean, like, you need a center, but I mean, like, you know, somebody can go inside. Kind of like, I mean, I would say Dallas, but Luke is so ball dominant to the point Simmons would be kind of ineffective. So, I mean, he's a hard person to work with because he kind of needs the ball in his hand, but at the same time, he can't have the ball in his hands in the fourth. So, I mean, it's kind of difficult to just put him somewhere. I mean, I have been seeing a lot of trailblazers, though. CJ for Simmons.
I have two things. My number one thing, I think that they should keep him, and that they should just go get a point guard. They should have got Kyle Lowry, but someone who you know will be a dominant ball handler, someone who can take the ball out of his hands late, and just play Ben at the 4. Because I think if you trade Ben Simmons, first of all, we kind of forgetting that he just came in second in Depoy. I mean, arguably could have won it. It is what it is, but he came in second for Defensive Player of the Year. He was first team all defense. That's big. I mean, you're gonna lose pretty much the best player on your team in terms of defense. And I just think that they've been playing him wrong this whole time. I feel like this was the year where they finally can put to rest the Ben Simmons at point guard thing, because he's not a point guard. He can just be a power forward that has great playmaking. And just let him, pick and roll. Just keep it simple with him. Let him set screens, get shooters open. But, don't let them bring the ball to the court, because they just gonna sag free throw line, and it's throwing off your whole offense, because you got to run an offense around all of that. So I think that they should just go get a point guard and just run Ben at the 4. But if you're gonna trade him, I think that there are two spots for me. And one team I gotta trade, the other team I ain't really thought of a trade yet. But I'm gonna explain both spots. So you kind of, when you said the teams, you were kind of naming him going to the Warriors or Trailblazers, like teams that are, if he goes there, I mean, he's still competing for a championship. Me personally, I think if I'm gonna trade Ben, if I'm a Ben Simmons fan, I would want him to go to a younger team, a rebuilding type team, so he can, go there and rebuild his confidence instead of going to a championship team. And he's kind of being thrust back into that spotlight, because he got a lot to work on in this game. I mean, he's saying he's gonna change his shooting for him, test it out on the right hand. So that's gonna be an adjustment going back to shooting. Because I mean, I think he used to shoot with his right hand, and he just kind of forced himself to shoot left. So he's got to get back used to shooting right. And then confidence is not something that you can just instill overnight. He's got to develop that. You got to get him at least a mid-range, Like, you don't have to shoot a 3. I hate people say you need a 3-pointer. You don't. You just need a mid-range. I mean, look at Chris Paul, Devin Booker. I mean, they killing people from the mid-range. You just need a mid-range jumper, something respectable. And so, one team I think they should do, I'm going to say the one that's a trade, with the Pacers. I think that the Pacers should give them Malcolm Brogdon, T.J. Warren, and, whatever else. And then the 76ers trade Ben Simmons. And then for Ben Simmons, you're working with Caris LeVert. You got Miles Turner, who is a big who can shoot, first to shoot. So that's better than Ben Simmons, than Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid has often said he doesn't like shooting threes. He just shoot it because, that's kind of the offense. So you're pairing up with a big and Miles Turner who can shoot. Got Caris LeVert, who we all know what Caris LeVert can do. and then you're gonna have some shooters with McDermott, and then you're just gonna have to rebuild that roster. And then they got a nice little quarter they can build with, and then with the 76ers, you get a point guard in Malcolm Brogdon who will be nice along and be not really losing that much on the defensive side, but he's not first team all defense. But Brogdon is a pretty above average, great defender, so I would do that, or I would do the D'Lo trade with the Timberwolves, but I ain't really thought like of a trade because I don't think they would just do D'Lo and Simmons straight up. But yeah. Those are the two options if we trading them, but I would say keep them first though. But yeah, I kind of would.
I think it's time to blow it up. It's about that time. But let's go ahead, because we've been on this series for a little bit, so let's go ahead and get into the West. And we can talk about the Suns sweeping the Nuggets. That was quick work.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit in the last video. Jokic kind of just didn't have any help. Nobody averaged more than 16 points.
Facundo Campazzo.
Yeah, so you just gotta give it up to the Suns. They went out there and balled. CP3 had that crazy game. We just couldn't miss with mid range.
30 piece.
Yeah, D-Book went out there and handled his business. It was just all around dominant performance.
Yeah, shit, you can kind of. That's about it on that series. That was a sweep. Not really too much cover on that, except for CP3 catching COVID.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I wonder how much that's going to affect this series. They already up 1-0 as they made this video.
Mm-hmm.
But
playing right now, actually.
Yeah, they actually game 2 going on. But we're gonna see how it affects. We're gonna probably make another video talking about the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jazz blowing that 2-0 lead as the 1 seed in the West, best record in the league. They gotta hurt if you Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. I thought they were gonna win the series. It just looked like they were, hot, and they was just gonna ride that out. And then, Kawhi was Kawhi, and then he got hurt. And then PG closed it out in game 7. So, what was it, 6?
Yeah, it was in 6.
Yeah, 6.
No Kawhi, back-to-back dubs.
Yeah.
That was hella impressive for me, man, because we talked about, do we think were they gonna be able to close the gap? And I believe everybody said yes. I know me and Corey said yes, but
I said the Jazz would go in.
So I didn't want to say something, but I said Mike Conley on the side. Mike Conley did kind of come back too late, and you could just see he was rusty in that game 6. But to be able to come together and hoop the way they did in Utah without Kawhi, Paul George turned back the clock back to Indiana. And Terrence Mann showed up in game 6. You can see he's gonna be he looks like a guy that can mess around and have like some 6 man of the year potential next year. He got size. He's a willing defender.
Mm-hmm.
What I say, a try guy. He's a try guy, and he's been knocking down open shots. I don't remember him at Florida State being more of a shooter. I remember that being like a Dwayne Bacon thing, but. He didn't show any ability to knock down shots. The Jazz said they were gonna let him get them, and he put it in the basket. He really gotta shake his hand. I had went to sleep on this game. I ain't gonna lie, because the Jazz was dominating. So I was like, okay, we finna go to 7. Donovan Mitchell came to play. I seen him not missing any shots, and crazy part at the beginning of the game, I was watching. The Clippers going back and forth, and man had a layup or he had something. He just made a highlight, and I just heard Mike Brand go, "He's got 10 of their 13." I said, "Huh? Yeah, what?" And I just didn't really pay attention to the rest of them. Then I woke up the next day and I looked at my phone, and then all I seen was Terrence Mann, and I'm like, man, this kid really want a damn ball.
Man, this dude really want a damn ball.
Went from a boy to a man, and I gotta shake his hand. Ty Lue, him with a game plan to spread it all the way out, run 5 out. It's been working for him. I think that's something they're gonna have to continue to do down the stretch. The only team I feel like that's gonna hurt them is Milwaukee, because Milwaukee a team that they can go small with you, but they 5 Giannis, and you kind of fucked if that happens.
Yeah.
So but I do think the small ball is gonna be what the Clippers have to do to get all the way to the championship. If they are able to make some type of comeback against Phoenix, because Phoenix is on the road right now, and they burning hotter than the Suns. Than the Sun. So I
What the score is right
mean,
now? 21-19?
yeah, I think it's 21-19, and yeah, I mean, you really just hope Kawhi can make it back. You really hope that Chris Paul can make it back. Cause that's really what you want to see, man. You don't like to watch teams lose without their best players, and it's really not that entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, as it stands right now, I mean, my finals prediction is, it's still feasible. I mean, the Clippers, even though I'm kind of a temporary nuts. Damn, did I just say nuts? That's
Yeah.
temporary nuts.
You saying nuts, y'all?
Temporary Suns fan. Temporary Suns fan. I just like watching the Suns team. They're so fun to watch because they're so competitive. They're athletic. I mean, they're just an electric team to watch. And I would love to see them in the finals. I would love to see them get a ring. But I mean, I did have the Clippers and Bucks in the finals, so I still gotta stick with that a little bit, even though I'm rooting for the Suns, which is crazy. So I'm just kind of fucked in this fight because I mean, it's like either my final prediction gonna be right or it's gonna be wrong. But I got the Suns though.
Yeah, man. It's something over the Clippers, man. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't think Phoenix gonna win, but I'm gonna say the Clippers. The Clippers been on the roll. I mean, I'm 2 for 2 with that. Said they were gonna beat the Mavs, did that. Said they were gonna beat the Jazz, did that. So I mean, I'm just gonna ride with them against the Suns. I mean, I'm not gonna make any bets. The Suns kind of taught me my lesson, man. I kind of feel like the dude that got beat up for the Nuggets, Suns in 4. I feel like that, man. Corey just said, "Where my money at, nigga?" So that's what I felt like. So I'm gonna give credit what credit is due with the Suns. I ain't gonna make no bets. I ain't gonna bet against Chris Paul and Devin Booker, at least for not this season. But I am gonna ride with the Clippers. I mean, Paul George, he's kind of looking like he's trying to work that pandemic P up off him. And like I said, the emergence of Terrence Mann, if Kawhi is able to come back at some point in the series, I feel like Kawhi's a player where even if he does have a bad offensive game, he's so effective on defense, he can slow Devin Booker to the point they could get a game, then the next game he can get back on. So if Kawhi can come back in the series, I definitely got the Clippers. But if he stays out, it'll probably be Suns in like 5-6. But I'm really banking on Kawhi coming back. I don't think they can beat a team this hot without their star player. But in terms of the East, I got the Bucks in 5.
Shit, I got the Bucks in 5. I think Trey will get a game, but y'all done met y'all match. Y'all had the easiest path to the conference finals out of the remaining teams, so y'all finna get gaslit. Can't even cap.
Yeah, but we did just see the lottery. I mean, shout out to the Pistons getting them one of our
Ben Wallace, man, Big Ben.
Yeah, Ben that could stay still when they had the camera on them doing the 1 through 4. He was just like, oh shit, they didn't say 4. Oh, they just said the Cavs. They showed him and Hakeem. He was like, they said, hey, number 2 pick. He was like, I like this nigga Ben, man. Yeah. But hey, shout out to the Pistons. I'm excited, man. I'm assuming they gonna get Cade Cunningham. Who you think they gonna get the number 1?
I'm gonna say Cade. Even though I think it might be a little shake up. Jalen Suggs possibly too.
It's gonna be interesting, man. They just drafted Killian Hayes with their top pick last year. Mm-hmm. So but Cade Cunningham at 6'8" point guard. So I mean, like you can run him at the 2. You can do a lot with that. And then, like they said on the program, they had 2 players on the all-rookie team. So the Pistons really starting to stir something up over there. With the emergence of Jeremy Grant, who was in the most improved rate running. But I ain't really got nothing else to say on this video outside of my boy Preston coming to the Celtics with the 45th pick. Jason Preston to the Celtics 45th pick. That's all I got to say. But yeah, thank you for watching. Especially if you made it to the end of this video. Please hit that like button. And it's Thread Needle. We out.